Few people realize that in many rural areas of Texas, a familiar threat is silently causing significant damage to the poultry industry. That threat is the red fox. Quiet, rarely seen during the day, they move stealthily in the darkness and strike at the least expected moments. In just one night, an entire chicken coop can be wiped out, leaving behind chaotic traces and losses that cannot be quickly recovered. For many farms, this is no longer an isolated incident, but an ongoing problem that forces them to find more effective solutions. In areas such as South Texas or West Texas, fox activity has become increasingly common around farming zones. As natural habitats shrink and food sources become less reliable, foxes begin to change their behavior, moving closer to residential areas and farms. Fences that once seemed secure can quickly become weak points if they are not designed with the animal's behavior in mind. Foxes can dig, climb, and squeeze through small gaps, making many traditional protection systems far less effective. Before implementing any control measures, farmers usually spend time carefully observing the surrounding area. Small footprints in soft soil, trails leading into coops, or scattered fur are all important clues. Understanding movement patterns and activity timing significantly improves control success. Instead of acting hastily, they take a planned approach to minimize risks and increase long-term effectiveness. One of the most commonly used methods is the box trap. This type of trap has a sturdy metal frame and a one-way door mechanism. In the early stage, the trap is often left open to create a sense of safety, allowing foxes to move in and out freely. Bait is placed deep inside, forcing them to fully enter. After a few days of familiarization, once their caution decreases, the system is activated. The door closes quickly, securing the animal inside without causing panic in the surrounding area. In addition to box traps, some areas also use snare traps along fixed trails. However, this method requires high technical skill and must be applied correctly to avoid affecting other animals. For this reason, box traps remain the preferred option due to their higher level of control and safety. Operators typically check traps daily to ensure they function properly and handle results promptly. Beyond trapping, many farms also use surveillance cameras to monitor nighttime activity. The collected data helps them adjust trap placement, change bait types, and identify the exact times foxes appear most frequently. This plays a key role in improving control efficiency, especially in areas with high fox density. Government support also plays an important role in fox population control. Training programs are organized to guide people in setting traps safely and effectively. Participants must understand regulations, learn fox behavior, and follow strict principles to minimize risks to humans and the surrounding ecosystem.
That you hear?
Yeah.
There's like a little groove.
Licensing and regulation help ensure these activities are carried out responsibly. However, the biggest challenge lies in the fox's ability to adapt quickly. Individuals that survive multiple encounters with traps tend to become more cautious, making control efforts increasingly difficult over time. This forces farmers to continuously adjust strategies, from trap placement to bait selection, in order to maintain long-term effectiveness. By combining observation, technology, and suitable trapping methods, many farms have significantly reduced the damage caused by foxes. This is not only a short-term solution, but also a sustainable management approach that helps protect assets and stabilize rural livelihoods.
Losses exceeding $800,000 in a short period, enough to make any farmer hesitate. In just a few nights, entire flocks of poultry vanished, leaving behind cold, empty enclosures and chaotic traces scattered across the ground. No longer isolated incidents, this had become a series of coordinated attacks by wolves. As the damage continued to rise, many farms faced the risk of collapse. And a pressing question began to emerge: how would they fight back? At first, everything seemed like a minor nuisance. A few animals went missing, a few unfamiliar tracks appeared around the fences. But in a short time, the situation escalated rapidly. The predators began returning more frequently, following familiar paths, even identifying weaknesses in the protection systems. Some farms reported losing hundreds of animals in just 1 week. What was once a small issue had now turned into a full-blown crisis. Under mounting pressure, traditional defensive measures were immediately deployed. Fences were reinforced, protective nets were installed more densely, and warning devices were put into use. However, their effectiveness only lasted for a short time. The predators quickly adapted, changing their approach, even finding ways to bypass what seemed like the safest barriers. A true battle of wits began to take shape. When passive solutions were no longer enough, a more proactive approach was introduced: direct control through trapping. But this was far from an easy decision. The method has always been accompanied by intense debate over humaneness and safety. Some argue it is the only way to protect livelihoods, while others call for less controversial alternatives. Even so, in practice, control still had to be carried out. Experienced individuals began with observation. They did not set traps immediately but instead monitored signs, travel routes, footprints, and access points to water sources. From there, movement patterns gradually became clear. Trap locations were carefully selected, often along the routes most frequently used. The setup process was carried out with high precision. Traps were treated to minimize foreign scent, then buried just beneath the surface to avoid detection. Anchoring stakes were driven deep to ensure stability. Bait was placed strategically, often combining strong scents with natural cues to increase attraction. Every detail was carefully calculated, as even a small mistake could cause the entire plan to fail. Throughout the process, safety remained the top priority. Operators had to approach from the right direction, use gloves, and minimize leaving human traces. After traps were activated, regular inspections were required according to regulations to avoid unnecessary risks. This was not just a control activity, but a process demanding discipline and high responsibility. Over time, these efforts began to show results. The number of attacks gradually declined, and losses became more manageable. Some reports indicated a significant reduction in farm intrusions. At the same time, the number of participants in legal control efforts increased, showing that this was no longer an isolated effort but a coordinated system. As environments continue to change and wildlife adapts more rapidly, every method will need to evolve. Ultimately, the choice is not only about effectiveness, but also about how humans balance protecting livelihoods and maintaining ecosystems. If you were faced with this situation, what would you choose? A forceful solution to eliminate the risk immediately, or a softer approach that requires more time? Share your perspective, because this is not just the story of a single farm, but an issue spreading across many regions.